Coinbase stock, COIN is the ticker symbol. And I had mentioned before in a previous video, sell it. It's overvalued to begin with, despite what's going on with crypto and the ETF industries. Of course, Bitcoin was approved for ETFs by the SEC. All Bitcoin and Ethereum and all the other cryptos have been shooting upward. These blockchain stocks have been following suit, but there's simply no value there. You're basically paying money to lose money. Coinbase is a long way off from profitability, so these prices are just too high. And we're going to see Coinbase stock, COIN, drop back down. I've said that before in my previous videos. I own a ton of Ethereum. I would love to see it go higher, but the reality is quite different. You're going to see a lot of profit taking. We saw a bigger slide today yet again in Bitcoin and Ethereum. Let's jump in. We'll break down Coinbase stock, COIN, showing you the financial numbers and what I'm looking at. If you're just finding my channel for the first time, thanks so much for stopping by. I am first and foremost an economist. Then I'm a value investor, and I break down the economy and I try to find valuable stocks that are undervalued. And in this case, we're looking at the 4-hour bar chart for both Coinbase versus Bitcoin. Now, my last video, I know what I said about selling Coinbase, not popular. But I like money. I like making money. So I don't put out videos because they're going to be popular where I sit there and I sell this idea that everything's going to the moon. The reality is different. There's no value in this stock, Coinbase. It's going to go much lower. And as soon as someone who's watching this video accepts that, maybe you'll step in and buy some puts on this and protect your profits that you are holding on to. But the fact that this stock is as high as it is, it's overvalued. It's all pure speculative. There's nothing there. Let's move forward. Here we're looking at, this is coincodex.com, and they're showing the sort of the volumes as to what's going on with a lot of the trading. Now, of course, we've seen a big pop higher in Bitcoin and Ethereum, of course, because of the ETFs. And I looked at those ETFs and I thought, I don't really see how these ETFs are really going to change anything too much with what's going on. Personally, I see no reason whatsoever to buy into an ETF for Bitcoin. If I want Bitcoin, I'll just buy Bitcoin. They're trading off of spot. Well, if you want spot, just buy spot. It's that simple. So the volumes that any of these companies would be hoping to get from trading, things like that, simply aren't there. We haven't even hit the big peak, and we're already seeing Bitcoin and Ethereum start to sell off again. I've been selling puts against Ethereum. I haven't been buying too many, I've been selling calls against Ethereum. I haven't been stepping in buying puts yet. I almost pulled the trigger the other day. Would have worked out quickly, but then Ethereum popped right back up. And I kind of sat back and said, glad I didn't pull the trigger, but then it fell back again. So I'm going to keep selling those puts. That's just money I'm going to keep bringing in, building up my actual coin position size. Coinbase, in the meantime, revenues, flat as a board, not really growing. There's no growth there. Yeah, sure, we had revenues previously back in 2021, but that was before. Now we're seeing 25% of that. Moving forward, projected revenue, and this is from analysts. These aren't my projections. Looking at the revenue that each of these companies is projected to see for 2024, 3.16 billion plus 2025, a slight move higher to 335. Not much growth there. Even if you took out that 784 from before and just said, is there some growth there? Yeah, it is. It's about what, 0.19, which is about a 5%, 4% revenue growth. Okay, so there is some growth there in revenue. Gross margins, solid. They don't have very much cost of goods sold. But that's where the good news ends. Operating margins. They're spending way too much in the back office running the company. Then it trickles down to net margins, where you're basically break even at this point, but analyst expectations for earnings per share in the next couple quarters, next 2 years, doesn't look pretty as well. Earnings per share, flat as a board, right at break even, but it's those future earnings that I'm really focusing on. 2024, expectations are a loss of $1.37 earnings per share. 2025, losing about 3 cents. So they're improving their losses. 2026, analysts do not expect future earnings growth here. You're basically paying to lose money by owning this stock. Coinbase, here's a bigger view of Coinbase itself. Coinbase stock, COIN, certainly was much higher when it first came out, almost pushing just above 400, 425 there. We've seen we're at 120. I wouldn't be shocked to see sub 50 in this stock. The reality is there's no earnings. You'd be paying $120 for Coinbase stock to lose money. From a value investor perspective, no way. But there are other individuals who sit there and say, listen, there's going to be revenue gains. Okay, yeah, but there's no earnings expectations moving forward. And that's really what it kind of breaks down to. I break these stocks down from a value investing perspective. There is no value, intrinsic value in Coinbase stock. They're spending way too much money on running the back office. Given that, moving forward, I don't see bigger revenue gains simply because Bitcoin can now be offered as an ETF, even though custodially Coinbase will see some of that business. It's just not there. This is a stock that is not a value investment, and it's not even a growth stock. Sure, there's going to be revenue growth, but over the next 2 years, you're looking at negative earnings. Coinbase stock will go back down. I know that's not popular, but for someone who is sitting on that stock, they may look at that and say, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and jump in and buy some puts because Coinbase stock has no reason being this high. Those puts would do really well. Make sure to hit that like and follow button. We'll see you in the next video.